As of 1 p.m. today, the Kingdom of Erusia has declared war on the Osean Federation. As soon as the news broke out, enemy aircraft began bombing Osean territory, causing widespread destruction. The Air Defense Force has released a statement saying this violent attack was carried out by drones. They speculate the drones were secretly transported to Osea in shipping containers and launched remotely. The Secretary of the Navy has stated that the enemy was targeting naval ports across the country. According to the Secretary, all of the nation's aircraft carriers, including one still under construction, sustained severe damage in the attacks. We have yet to hear back from the department as to the fate of Osean carriers currently at sea. Hold on, I've just received breaking news. The International Space Elevator, which is being built in southern Usea, has been seized by the Erusian Army. Reports say former President Harling was touring the site at the time, but his current whereabouts are unknown. Our sources in government tell us it was Harling's policies regarding the space elevator that caused economic frictions in the area, and which ultimately led to this war. Located near Erusia, on the continent of Usea, the space elevator has been under construction for some time now. The Executive Office of the Osean Federation has declared a national state of emergency. They have ordered all its armed forces, including Usean peacekeepers, to mobilize and make the necessary preparations to launch an immediate counterattack. Ladies and gentlemen, our country is officially at war. Stay tuned for further updates.
Breaking news from ENN. Osea launched an attack on the capital today, striking Farbanti from their aircraft carrier, the Kestrel II. After a brutal battle, the Erusian Air Force successfully repelled them. During the air raid, the Osean Air Force fired missiles at the city and managed to shoot down a number of Erusian fighters. Some of the disabled planes then crashed into residential areas.
The world was screwed. 20 years ago, the Earth got slammed by an asteroid. Usea was on the wrong side of the planet and got hit. Hard. Refugees swarmed the Erusian Republic, the biggest country on the continent, plunging it into chaos. They were desperate and started a war, one they had no hope of winning. That's the war my dad fought and died in. The biggest nations from 2 continents went head-to-head, and the so-called righteous Oseans struck the deal that ended it. They fancied themselves the only nation that could bring peace and stability to the world. They even tried saving the Useans, still suffering from the disaster. That's how a space elevator, stretching way up into the sky, ended up being built in Usea, paid for by the Oseans. President Harling said he did it out of compassion for his fellow humans. But to the folks in Erusia, it looked like Osea was moving in to take over. Erusia went from being a republic back to being a kingdom. When they started this new war, they managed to get the drop on everyone.
As of 1 p.m. today,
The second the declaration hit the news, Erusian forces took control of the space elevator without spilling a single drop of blood. President Harling was touring the elevator when it happened and disappeared. Then, while that was going on, the Erusian ships that were docked all around Osea released a swarm of drone fighters they had hidden on board in containers. No one thought they were capable of doing what they did that day. With pinpoint accuracy, they managed to take out everything that was military, and not a single civilian was hurt in the process. Osea pissed lots of people off with their huge military presence around the world. Erusia didn't have the same reach, but they could hit their targets faster and cleaner. And when all this was going down, I just so happened to be in my flying drag racer. In case you were wondering, yeah, I survived. I crashed in a bombed-out Osean Air Force base, then got arrested for breaking wartime aviation laws or some crap. The world went from being at peace to being at war, all in the blink of an eye.
Princess Rosa Cassette Delete of the Kingdom of Erusia. Today, Osean airstrikes have shattered the lives of countless Erusians. Their attacks practically leveled the school I went to. It is heartbreaking. Tragic.
I was tried, found guilty, and stuffed into a cargo ship. For company, I had some court-martialed soldiers. And remember those mothballed planes I told you about before? They were loaded on the ship too. We headed off down south for several days, and then swung east. That's how I got here. I was thousands of kilometers from Erusia, on the opposite side of the Eusian continent. For a port, it was dull as hell. It had 3 rusty patrol boats, and the base? The fences were topped with razor wire, the tower had a searchlight and machine guns, and a truck with a gun turret was parked in front of the gate. Its gun was aimed at the yard. This was a prison. This place looked like a full-on base, but half the tanker trucks were just big balloons, and the runways weren't even paved, just painted on the dirt. The whole place was just one big fat lie. The only reason I was here is because they knew I'd restored a supersonic plane. They wanted me to make something out of the mothballed planes they brought, that they could park on the fake runway. Can you believe that shit? So, I tried to escape. They found out, and set the dogs on me.
Erusia has made a declaration to the Ocean Federation and all countries on the Eusian continent stationing the IUN peacekeeping force that we are now at war. Right after the declaration was made, surprise attacks began around the continent that have inflicted major damage to our armed forces. Forces aligned with Erusia are currently appearing throughout Eusia. The combination of these forces has overwhelmed the majority of the continent, and they are now encroaching on us in the east. Additionally, the multinational space elevator has been seized by the Erusian military. After the previous war, the space elevator became both a symbol of peace and a valuable asset in the fight against growing energy concerns. Whoever has control of it will have enormous influence over the entire continent. We cannot turn a blind eye to this critical situation. The Fort Gray's Air Base Squadron has been entered into the order of battle to reclaim the elevator as an advance element. First, you will attack all hostiles coming in the east of Schofield Plateau to stop any interference with the Allied ground troops. The enemy has deployed several vehicles equipped with anti-air radar along the roads. You are to destroy them. They should not pose much of a threat. However, there is a high likelihood that the attack will draw more enemy air support. If that happens, fight them off swiftly and establish air superiority.
Herzlich willkommen zurück zum zweiten Teil von Ace Combat. Ja, nach der ersten Mission haben wir jetzt auch die Flugzeugschema freigeschaltet. Hier müssen noch viele Bodenziele erstmal zerstören. Genau, da steht es auch nochmal. Können wir eben Flugzeuge, Waffen und gewisse Teile erhalten. So. Hier gibt es noch eine Einleitung. Wer sich das nochmal genau durchlesen will, der kann ja gerne Video pausieren. Dazu gibt es zum Glück die Funktion. Da wird der Baum auch gleich erweitert auf Flugzeuge, die wir uns demnächst holen können. Flugzeug haben wir schon. Die Jetbeschleunigung haben wir schon. Und die 4 AAM-Raketen haben wir schon. Wir können jetzt noch erweitern auf die Bomben. Genau, das waren, glaube ich. Genau, das waren Luftbodenraketen. Die brauchen wir in der Mission auf alle Fälle. Beziehungsweise die machen sich besser wie die Luft-Luft-Raketen, obwohl man damit auch die Ziele erschießen kann oder abknallen kann. Und Luft-Luft-Explosionsraketen. Nehmen wir auch gleich noch mit. So. Beim letzten, als ich die Kampagne mal angespielt habe, hatte ich das Problem, dass ich erst versucht habe, hier die MIG mir zu holen und mich so ein bisschen nach unten zu arbeiten, beziehungsweise auch, ich habe mir die Mirage geholt und erstmal alles, was hier vorne ist, was mein Fehler war. Später kommt noch Missionen mit mehreren Bodenzielen, und da ist dieses Flugzeug sehr praktisch, die A10C. Auch ein sehr bekanntes Flugzeug. Übrigens, die meisten Flugzeuge hier in dem Spiel gibt es wirklich. Gibt nur ein paar, die fiktiv sind. Also auf jeden Fall ist jetzt der Plan, erst die F-14D zu kaufen. Die werde ich dann auch mal nutzen. Wie lange, werden wir sehen. Dann müssen wir die Tragfläche, oder was ist das, Ruder Aktuatoren. Ui, was für ein Wort. Also die Ruder müssen wir kaufen, und dann haben wir die Wahl zwischen dem Enteisungssystem, zwischen der FA-18F Super Hornet, auch ein bekanntes Flugzeug, und der A10C. Also brauchen wir insgesamt 200.000 Punkte, also ich sag mal im Video 4 werden wir wahrscheinlich, also im Video 3 werden wir uns das Flugzeug holen können, und im Video 4 oder 5 müssten wir schon zur A10C kommen. So, was der Vorteil ist, wir haben ja hier jetzt schon diesen Jetantrieb, hier die Ruder, hier auch nochmal Ruder und so weiter, die ganzen Teile. Die kann man alle in Flugzeug bauen. So, hier wählen wir uns noch eine Waffe aus. Nehmen wir die Luftboden. Wir haben auch noch Luft-Luft-Raketen bei, womit wir auch Bodenziele angreifen können und uns auch gegen andere Jets verteidigen können. So, das war jetzt bei Spezialwaffe und Teileauswahl. Das ist auch noch ein wichtiger Punkt. Kann man sich auch gerne durchlesen und pausieren. Beziehungsweise pausieren und dann durchlesen. Macht mehr Sinn. Jetzt können wir das einfach durch A drücken im Flugzeug verbauen. Sieht man noch rechts, welche Teile verbaut sind. Das ist jetzt ein Rumpfteil, gibt noch Waffen und sonstiges. Und da haben wir maximal 40 Punkte pro Abteil, und an Teilen können wir 8 verschiedene Teile inbauen. Und damit kann man sein Flugzeug auf bestimmte Art und Weise verbessern. Und was ich gut finde, ist, dass man die Teile nur einmal kaufen braucht. Oder, ja doch. In den Flugzeugbaum. Dass man die da einmal kauft und kann die in jedes Flugzeug einbauen, ohne dass man die, wenn man ein anderes Flugzeug nutzt, wieder ausbauen muss, sondern das wird einfach gespeichert. Und das finde ich sehr vorteilhaft.
Current target is on rails, but there's still military vehicles and anti-air weaponry. Destroy the target, but HQ has made it clear that no harm should come to civilians and no damage is to be done to public facilities.
Wir haben jetzt einen Kreis. Sobald der Kreis rot wird, treffen wir ihn.
Do you have visual on the anti-air radar
Leider nur
vehicles?
10
We should be
Raketen.
close. Yep.
Intercept! Fire the AA! Get the radar vehicle out of there!
It's popping off now, Trigger. The war has officially begun.
The anti-air radar vehicle's been destroyed! We're going for the
Stellen
radar
wir mal so
car!
viel wie geht.
Target destroyed. 5 to go.
Den hat er jetzt nicht
Get
akzeptiert.
the fighters out there! Protect the radar vehicle!
They've got their anti-air guns aimed right at us.
Generate! Being attacked by enemy aircraft! We're using the containers now. Those weapons are meant for tactical flexibility.
The enemy's barely resisting. This is easy money, so
Nur erstmal die
grab it while you
Targets.
can.
Also die Hauptziele.
We can't wait any longer. We need interceptors now.
Target destroyed. 3 to go. Continue to engage at your discretion. Enemy interceptors inbound. Prepare to engage in 30 seconds. Wilco, here they come. Take them down.
Okay, recruits. Pay attention to who's on what side. The newest IFF is connected to our entire force via satellites. It's reliable, so trust your radars. Column 2, you can't go after
2 targets remaining.
That radar was just about to go online.
Wo ist noch?
Push the plan forward too fast.
Ach da.
Base is too far from Allied territory.
Trigger, there's 1 more to go. That was the last radar vehicle. Great work.
Haben wir schon mal
Radar vehicle's
erledigt.
destroyed, but the interceptor shows no sign of retreating. Take it out. Continue with the mission. Crush as many as you can.
Dann kommen jetzt die ersten
Page 2,
Hubschrauber.
Fox 2. Page 2, shut down a bandit.
No, they're not linked to the radar vehicle. Launch manually. Redo the setup. Here's some feedback for those floor merchants. Write your manuals in a language we can understand.
Lockdown bandit. The enemy has a lock on you, H2. Missile connected.
The clouds don't just affect your field of vision. They also mess with your HUD and radar. The Seekers can sometimes lose their lock-on to their targets, too.
Und dann gleich die Lichter in dem Visier. Passt. So denn. Ach da. So, ich übersehen. Erledigt.
Lower 1, enemy will crash in a residential area.
Just worry about staying alive for now.
Schalten wir erstmal die Targets aus, dass wir schnell fertig sind.
Locked on target.
Über den. Schade, nur ein Treffer.
Don't ice up in there. Watch out. The enemy has a lock on.
Enemy missile cruising.
Wollten sie mir jetzt eine Rakete hinterherjagen?
How the hell is the enemy able to aim it so accurately that it's camouflaged?
Page 2, locked. Targeting range of guns.
You're taking cover in the clouds. Evading enemy missile. Fox 2! Fox 2! Roger 6.
Missile. Missile.
I maneuver behind the enemy.
Fliegen wir auch wild, die Jungs.
Stall warning. Missile. Missile.
Page 2, missile launch.
Missile.
So you want us to take down the enemy without damaging any public facilities? That's gonna be a circus.
Stall warning.
On his tail.
Stall warning.
Missile incoming. Break.
Stall Warning. Nervt ein bisschen.
5 targets remaining.
Jawohl, mit MG erschossen.
Missile.
Da kommt eine Rakete. Die Landschaft sieht doch grafisch so super aus.
Fox 2.
On his tail.
4 targets remaining. Careful of ice formation in the clouds.
Auf zu den nächsten.
Enemy transports are taxiing.
Page 2, missile away.
Drehen.
In gun range.
Protect the radar vehicle. Return fire.
3 targets remaining.
Ah, jetzt ist es schade, dass wir keine Luftbodenraketen mehr haben.
Launch preparations complete. So free. Whenever you're ready. Stand clear 15 meters. UAV ready to launch. Away.
Was war das jetzt für ein Witz? Jetzt kommen die ersten Drohnen.
What happened? Status report.
Diese kleinen Mistdinger.
Multiple bogeys on radar. They're close.
Wait, they're being launched.
You're cleared to engage. They're probably hostile.
Judging by the way they look and move,
Missile.
they gotta be drones. Now, spotted, clown. No doubt about it, we're dealing with UAVs. But that doesn't change a thing. Just think of them as somewhat clever decoys. Take them all down. These drones have great agility. All aircraft. You know what high G turns are, right? Use them. HQ, this is Golem 1. Bandits confirmed as UAVs. Repeat, bandits are drones. Golem 1, that doesn't matter. Destroy all enemy fighters and get out. It doesn't matter? He's saying the war can change in an instant. Get over it. Yeah, I just wish they'd give us a bit more warning.
Stall warning.
Golem 2, the enemy's reading you.
Missile. Missile. Caution. Pull up. Missile. Missile.
Okay.
I'm buying dinner for anyone who takes down an enemy.
Car I want to try.
You're doing good.
Jawohl.
Where'd he go?
One to go. Let's get through this without any casualties. Locked. Missile did not connect.
Mage 1 launching missile. I'm on this one's tail. They won't show up on the radar.
Don't ice up in there.
The enemy knows a few moves, but that's about it. Just chase them down and pull the trigger.
Und kriegen noch. Jawohl.
Nice kill, Trigger. Enemy aircraft confirmed down.
The skies are clear. Nice work, everyone. Mission complete.
Aber
RTB.
denen ist es immer ein bisschen schwer,
No casualties. We couldn't have done any better. Returning to base.
die richtig zu kriegen.
I don't know. Maybe the bandits we took down caused
Vor allem
civilian
auch, weil die
casualties.
so flink sind.
No point arguing
Und
that's
leider
how war
gehören
is
die
these days.
Drohnen zu den
You
Flugzeugen,
shoot, someone
die
gets killed.
fiktiv sind und die man nicht
The
selber
guys in
fliegen kann.
charge take care of the rest.
Aber naja. So, da haben wir auch die Mission geschafft. Kann man sich im Endeffekt nochmal die Wiederholung ansehen. Und mal gucken, was wir jetzt gewonnen haben. Aber ja, auf jeden Fall wünsche ich euch noch einen schönen Tag. Lasst gerne noch ein Like und ein Abo da und auch einen Kommentar, ob euch das Video gefallen hat. Und wir sehen uns dann beim Teil 3 vom Let's Play. Bis zum nächsten Mal.